morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever in the world you're joining us from. Welcome. I'm Chavi Hartley, and I'm truly delighted to be your host for today's session. We're in for an insightful conversation, and it's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest, Annna Calzini, Recruiting and Events Coordinator at the MIT Sloan School of Management. Today, Annna will walk us through what makes MIT Sloan's MBA program one of the most dynamic and forward-thinking in the world. She'll highlight key program features and share valuable insights to support you on your MBA application journey. MIT Sloan's MBA emphasizes action learning, offering hands-on experience with real-world business challenges. It's STEM designated with strengths in analytics, technology, and entrepreneurship, deeply tied to MIT's innovation ecosystem. Students enjoy a flexible curriculum and a collaborative, grounded culture focused on principled leadership. Global experiences, startup support, and leadership coaching are core to this program. It's ideal for future change makers in tech, consulting, and entrepreneurship. Thank you all for being here today. Let's dive in. Annna, over to you.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. As she mentioned, my name is Annna Calzini. I'm an events and recruiting coordinator at MIT Sloan. So to begin, we always like to start with our mission statement of MIT Sloan. And so the mission of MIT Sloan School of Management is to develop principled, innovative leaders who improve the world and to generate ideas that advance management practice. And so we like to just share this because when admitting students to the program, we are looking for those who are passionate about tackling those global challenges that will make the world a better place. So moving on, as you can see, this is our portfolio of programs that we offer at MIT Sloan. And so we offer a wide range from early career all the way to the executive level. So we will be focusing on our MBA traditional MBA program today. And so as you can see, typically folks within the MBA program do hold about 3 to 7 years of full-time work experience. And our MBA program is 2 years full-time and in-person. And so we wanted to touch a little bit on the curriculum at MIT Sloan. And so when you're admitted to the program at MIT Sloan, the first semester that you'll take will be your core semester. And so this consists of all the required courses that you'll need to take in order to graduate. The great thing about MIT Sloan is that there is only one semester core. So after that, you do have flexibility to shape the curriculum to match your interests and your goals. So as you can see on the left here, you will be divided into one of 6 cohorts during the core semester. And then within each of those cohorts, students are also assigned to even smaller core teams. And so these teams are really the individuals that you'll spend time with in the classroom, and you'll develop very strong connections and relationships with these individuals. And then in the center, those are just some of our core required courses that you'll be taking. So we have our leadership challenges for an inclusive world, economic analysis for business decisions, our data models and decisions course, communication for leaders, organizational processes, and financial accounting. And then the other great thing is that we do want to give you a little bit of flexibility within that core semester. So students are able to choose one of those four electives listed on the right-hand side. And then after your core semester, like I mentioned, students have 3 semesters to customize and shape the curriculum to align with your goals and interests. So they'll complete a total of 144 units of electives. And so you can really shape the curriculum to however you want it. A couple of different ways that you can do that is on the left, you'll see we do have certificates that you're able to pursue. So if these are any areas of interest to you, these are optional academic concentrations that will help guide your course selection, and you're able to pursue up to 2 of these certificates in the traditional MBA program. And then in the middle, we do have our action learning labs, which are very popular across MIT Sloan and unique to MIT Sloan. So the action learnings are teaching methods where students apply classroom theories and frameworks to real business challenges. They're partnered with host organizations where they'll work on a project. Projects may range from scaling ventures to discovering market opportunities, but really you'll be partnered with that company to help them work on a project and help them solve that. And then at Sloan, we do also have some dual degree options available as well. So at MIT itself, we have our Leaders for Global Operations, or LGO program, which is partnered with the School of Engineering. And then we also have dual degree program with the Master in Urban Studies and Planning. And then we do also offer the dual degree program at Harvard, the Harvard Kennedy School. And so these dual degree options are great if that's something that interests you. You do have to apply separately to both the MBA program and whichever dual degree you choose. All right, so moving on to community. So community is a very important and unique thing at MIT Sloan. So touching on student life, there are endless ways to get involved at Sloan, and I truly believe that there is something for everyone here. So on the left, you'll see we have conferences and competitions. These are often student run and a great way to build leadership experience while connecting with professionals. Some of our big examples that we have listed here are the MIT 100K competition. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, which is very popular. We have the Sloan Investment Conference and the Sloan FinTech Conference. And so those are just a few. We also have study tours. And so these are student organized trips during our student and independent period week or spring break. And they really give you a chance to explore a global business theme up close. And so they get to learn about that theme firsthand. And then we also have treks. And so these treks are student-led travel, and they can take place at any time of the year. They're not for credit, but they're organized and run by MIT Sloan clubs in the student life office. And so they can really be a range of anything that the students are interested in. For example, this past year, there was a big student trek for a ski club, and it was a really great opportunity that a lot of the students went to and got involved with. All right, and so student clubs. So I mentioned student clubs, and so student clubs are a really central part of the MIT Sloan experience. We have over 80 student-led clubs active on campus, and memberships really range from small groups to really large groups. So our smallest group may be just 12 students, but we do have clubs that are quite large with up to 400 students in them. And so the club leaders of these organizations will host a variety of events annually, speaker series, recruiting prep sessions, social gatherings, and they're a great way to get involved on campus. And then the types of clubs really vary and span a wide range of interests. So as I mentioned previously, there's something for everyone. We have industry food, focus clubs, affinity, regional, special interest clubs, sports and recreation clubs, arts and culture. It's a very wide range. And then also in 2024 to the 2025 year, there were over 549 club leaders organizing 826 events. So just reflecting on how active and engaging our students really are. And then lastly, I did want to just touch on support. So at MIT Sloan, you're never navigating your career journey alone. And I think it's really important to note that there's such a strong support system in place from day one when you get onto campus. So we have MBA career advisors, and so this is a team of professional advisors that work in our career development office, and they're available for you to meet in one-on-one meetings to sort of go through your career goals and what you're hoping to reach. You can stick with one advisor throughout your entire time at MIT Sloan, or you can meet with different ones to get a different range of perspectives as you shape your career path. We also have our Sloan Industry Advisors. And so this is an alumni network working across 17 or more industries. And you can book time with them to get that industry-specific guidance and talk through sort of next steps in a particular field of interest. And then we also have MBA career peers. And so these are second-year MBA students who collaborate with the Career Development Office to mentor first-year students. And so they assist with navigating career paths and internship opportunities and really pulling from their own experiences from the year prior to share with you to foster that supportive career community within Sloan. All right, and so we also always like to just touch on the MIT Alumni Network. So at Sloan, we do have over 31,000 alumni worldwide. And then within the broader MIT community, we do have over 146 alumni worldwide. And so our alumni really do continue to be involved and connected through a variety of alumni clubs and organizations throughout the world that are putting on events each year. In time, our alumni will join us, the admissions team, for events as well to continue to stay involved. And so we like to also just highlight the impact that our alumni have. So currently, over 30,000 active companies have been connected to current MIT students and alumni. And from that, 4.6 million jobs have been created. So if you were to think of MIT companies as sort of their own nation, it would rank 10th or 11th in terms of global GDP in our global economy. So there's definitely a broad impact that our alumni have, and that they're not just bringing to the MIT community, but also the broader world itself. And lastly, I just think it's really important to note that if you are admitted to the MBA program and you do come to Sloan, it's really important to think about when you're in the program, not just to utilize those students and faculty that you have with you on a day-to-day basis in the classroom, but also that broader MIT network that you have access to and that are right at your fingertips as well. All right, and so I know this is of high interest to everybody in the call today, I'm sure. So this is our application requirements. So currently we are still between admission cycles at this point, and we have not yet confirmed our application requirements for this upcoming cycle. So our MBA application will be opening in July of this summer. And so all of the finalized application requirements will be available when it goes live. For your reference, though, the list that you can see here on the screen are the components that we have required in the past, and you can expect that our application this year will be fairly similar to years past. So we do ask for academic transcripts. So these are transcripts from all colleges or universities that you've attended or are currently attending. We ask for an organizational chart, and so this is just a visual depiction that you will create of where you fall within your current organization. We ask for a one-page professional resume. We have a video one question, and so this is your opportunity to introduce yourself to your future classmates, with the caveat that your classmates will never see the video. So it's really just an opportunity for the admissions committee to see your personality and learn a little bit more about you as an individual. Our newest component to the application that was added last year is our video question 2. And so this is a brief video statement responding to a random generated open-ended prompt. So there's no advanced prep required for this question. They're all experience-based. And so an example of one could be, tell us a little bit about your proudest achievement in the workplace. They're very straightforward. There's no wrong answer. We just like to see how you communicate and think on your feet. We also have a short answer question in the application. This is just where you'll share about your personal background, detailing how the world you come from has shaped you to who you are today. We do require the GMAT or GRE test scores for the MBA program, and I do not see that this will be changing. So you can submit either a GMAT or GRE test score. There is no preference of one over the other. We do require a letter of recommendation, and so for the MBA application in the past, we've only asked for one professional letter of recommendation, and really it should just be coming from someone who can really speak to the impact of your work and give those examples of that. And then lastly is the cover letter. And so this is just a 300-word or less cover letter that you will write. And so, as I mentioned, so we don't have it finalized yet, but our deadlines, you can expect our round one deadline to be similar to last year, end of September 2025. Our round two deadline for the MBA program, mid-January of 2026, and then our round three deadline in early April of 2026. Okay, and lastly, we just like to share our class profile. So the class of 2026 has 433 students, and this does include our LGO students. And so this is slightly larger than we had seen in the past, but we are expecting a similar number for our students that will come into the class of 2027. So we have 46% women. And yeah, so you can just feel free to take a look at that. We have our academics, undergrad majors, pre-MBA industry. And it's really great to look at to just get a sense of what the class looks like. All right, and with that, I think that we can move on to questions.
Thank you so much, Anna, for that exceptional and insightful presentation.
Yeah.
True pleasure to learn more about MIT Sloan's School of Management and the unique opportunities offered by your MBA program. We'll now move on to the questions submitted by our audience. I'm going to go with the upvotes, highest upvotes. Manoj Nalam asks, given the evolving US immigration landscape, how is MIT supporting international students in securing internships and full-time roles in the United States?
Yeah, definitely. So our career development office is, as I mentioned in the presentation, is a very big part of that. And so students are partnering with advisors one-on-one and helping them work through internships or securing jobs. Additionally, the admissions team is always here for students even after they are admitted into the program. And so we're committed to being a welcoming environment to all, and we want to see our students thrive. So we're also always willing to support our students in anything that they need. But our career development office is really the key support that you will have in securing internships and careers after.
Thank you. Samuel Favik-Kidimo asks, is your MBA STEM designated?
Yes, it is STEM designated, yes.
Shantanu Chaudhary asks, hi, is the MBA program open for less experienced individuals, like 2 years of experience provided a generally good profile?
Yeah, so as I had mentioned in one of my early slides, so on average, individuals hold about 3 to 7 years of work experience in the MBA program. That said, it is not a defined cutoff. So if you are on the earlier side with 2 years of full-time work experience, that's fine. Really, we're just looking for students to show that they'll be able to thrive in the program, that they have that experience. When you are coming into the classroom, it is important that you do have some range of full-time work experience, just because it helps with the classroom experience because you're bringing those diverse views and ideas to the table. So you can have definitely on the lesser end, but I would say at least 2 years of full-time work experience is required for the traditional MBA program. We do have other earlier career programs available. So we have our Master of Business Analytics program and our Master of Finance program. And those are for early career professionals who are coming straight out from either undergrad or grad school, and have usually 0 to 2 years of full-time work experience.
Samriddhi Srivastav asks, I'm a dentist from India transitioning into business consulting. Does MIT provide any support for people from healthcare backgrounds looking for a transition?
Yes, definitely. So we actually have individuals come into the MBA program every year, a couple that come from a healthcare background. And so as I've mentioned before, our career development office is trained and very good at helping students career pivot. So if you're coming from a healthcare background and you want to go into consulting, they'll definitely help you navigate that path for sure.
Ronald Tucker asks, does a low undergraduate GPA get offset by a high GMAT score? Any sectional priorities when looking at GMAT score?
So when we're reviewing applications, we're using a very holistic approach. So I wouldn't say that one would weigh out the other in like a weight, but I would say that if you do have a lower GPA, but we can see in other components of the application that you have those strong skills, you will be okay. We also understand that students coming into the MBA program have been in the work field for a few years, so not having the strongest GPA is going to be okay. Looking at the GRE and the GMAT scores, we're looking at all of the scores, so not just those quantitative heavy skills, but definitely I would say all of them across the board.
Giorgio Pasqui asks, hello Anna, thank you for the presentation. When evaluating the recommendation letters, how much weight is placed on the title or seniority of the recommender versus their direct experience working with the applicant? I have potential recommenders who are senior in their careers but less familiar with my day-to-day work, and others who have worked closely with me but hold less seniority titles.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So I would say people that are able to speak on your skills and give specific examples of those is definitely going to be a better recommender. So we're less concerned about the title of your recommender and more about how well they can speak to you. So that was a great question. I would definitely say less the title and more of who you have a relationship with and can speak well to your accomplishments.
Sri Joy Bhattacharya, he asks, Hi, Anna, couple of queries. One, as someone coming from a non-traditional background, what is it that I should keep in mind while applying? Number two, someone who will eventually go into social impact entrepreneurship. How will MIT experience help me in this aspect?
Yeah, so people who come from non-traditional backgrounds, we have a lot of applicants that come from non-traditional backgrounds every year. I would say just making sure that we will be able to tell within your application that you will be able to thrive in the program. So making sure that you take the GRE and you have the quant skills, that you're sort of explaining your past accomplishments. A great way to do this is the cover letter. So in the cover letter, we're really looking for what have you accomplished so far that would make you a good match for MIT. So using the cover letter to really sort of explain your non-traditional background is definitely a good way to go. And then with entrepreneurship at MIT, there are endless opportunities for sure. We have the Martin Trust Center, which is the entrepreneurship hub on our campus. And going there, you have endless resources. You'll have faculty that will help you. Sometimes there's funding given for entrepreneurship ideas. So definitely a great resource when you're at MIT. Additionally, we do also have, like I said, the certificate programs. And entrepreneurship is a certificate that you can pursue to learn more about that and how to navigate your career in entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Yash Tomar asks, with the current halt in the student visa interview in the United States, what are the chances these uncertainties will be resolved?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So with the admissions team, our international students definitely remain a priority for us at this time. So we are constantly monitoring the situation. We don't really have answers right now to give, but we're assessing the impact on our community every day and constantly. And so while there are a lot of unknowns at this time, we're committed to those students. And as our president, Kornbluth, had said, to our international students, MIT would not be MIT without you. So we understand the uncertainty is very scary, but we're standing with our students and we're hoping that everything will work out, but we continue to monitor the situation every day.
Thank you, Anna. Janine Lambert asks, for the GMAT scores, do you have any idea of the range in GMAT focus scores, or is that still too new?
So I do not have that available at this time, but once we do, it will most likely be added to our class profile like we have had in the past. But yes, still too new for me to give a number at this time.
Pansy Dhingra asks, beyond the Martin Trust Center, what are the ways in which MBA students leverage the broader MIT entrepreneurial ecosystem, labs, or departments to larger scale ventures?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different ways. If you go on our website and you go to the Martin Trust Center website, there are a lot of different opportunities that you can read about. I know that there is a 3-week period during IEP, which is independent activities period in the winter, that students will work on an idea that they have with other members at the Martin Trust Center. And like I also said, so we have the certificates. And so we have our entrepreneurship and innovation certificate at MIT Sloan. And so you'll take specific classes in entrepreneurship at Sloan that revolve around entrepreneurship and work with faculty that have a great understanding of it and will help you reach your goals. So at MIT Sloan, I would say there's more resources available to you than you will even know what to do with. But if you have an idea and you know you want to do something, there's always going to be a way to achieve those goals.
Thank you. Ananth Krishnan B. He asks, Hi, could you please give a brief about the scholarship process and how it works for international students?
Yes. So how it works at MIT Sloan, it's the same across the board for all admitted students. And so when you're admitted to MIT Sloan, everyone is considered for merit-based fellowships. We do not offer need-based fellowships. And so fellowships is the same thing as scholarships when you hear me say that, if you're unsure what I mean. But so yeah, so we offer merit-based fellowships. And it's really just depends on what we have for funding that year. And so we'll look at all of our admits and then we will sort of distribute depending on what we have for funding. And like I said, based on merit based.
Thank you. Hansi Dhingra, she asks, Hi Anna, Sloan has a very strong entrepreneurial ecosystem and focus on technological innovation. How does the program specifically prepares MBA students to navigate the challenges of scaling deep tech ventures?
Yeah, so I would say that our faculty and staff at the Martin Trust Center would be able to answer this question a little bit better. But I would just say, yeah, using your resources in those centers will definitely be able to help you reach those goals. And also within Sloan, when you're in the classroom, you're not just going to be listening to a lecture every day. You're going to be given projects that are very hands-on. And so you'll be working to how to solve problems and how to pivot and work on different things. So it will definitely prepare you.
Thank you. Anonymous attendee asks, Is there major difference in acceptances between R1 and R2? Also, is it advisable to submit applications in R1 with weaker GMAT versus better GMAT in R2?
So I would say with applying, it really depends. So on when the time feels right for you. Round one, we do have the most available seats available in our program. That said, if you feel like your GRE or GMAT score may not be the highest and you want to retake it to feel better about that, definitely apply in round two. I will say though, after round two, round three does have the least amount of seats available just because we are admitting people in each round. Definitely apply when you feel the most confident in what you are submitting. But keeping in mind that the later you do apply, the less seats that are available. With that, though, if you are not accepted into the program because you have maybe applied in a later round, we always encourage reapplication as well. I would say that we usually don't look at what Harvard's sort of acceptance rate, I would say, or admitted students is, so we can't really speak on them. But if you were asking about the dual degree program with Harvard Kennedy School, you do have to apply to both our MBA program in round two and the Harvard Kennedy School in round two because you have to apply to both programs separately at the same time. And round two is when the Harvard Kennedy School application is live. So you would apply in round two for the MBA.
Thank you. Narendra Singh Patel asks, Hello Anna, what is the difference between 1-year MBA and a 2-year MBA program from MIT? I do want to switch my career from being a computer professor to a corporate. So do you advise to select 1-year MBA program?
Of course. So the 1-year program at MIT Sloan is our Sloan Fellows MBA program. And then we have the 2-year MBA program, which is what I spoke to today. So the Sloan Fellows program is designed for people who are sort of executive level in their career. So they have at least 10 years of work experience and they've maybe held leadership positions or led teams. And so I would say that that's the key difference. Whereas MBA, the traditional MBA 2-year program, is more for people mid-career level, looking to pivot or pursuing something else. Whereas I would say Sloan Fellows is more geared towards people at the executive level who are just continuing to look to grow in their career. And they, like I said, leadership, I would say, is the key point within the Sloan Fellows program.
Thank you. Parth Wag is asking, I know about MIT's stronger founder support during the MBA, but I'm curious about what happens after. For founders returning to emerging markets like India, in my case, is there structured post-MBA support, mentorship, or alumni engagement that helps sustain and scale ventures outside of Silicon Valley? Also, how willing are students from other MIT schools to collaborate with Sloan founders or startups?
Yeah, so students from other schools are definitely interested in partnering, I would say, with Sloan students. I would say support after you've graduated and you've maybe moved back home. There's always support available. So once you're in the MIT Sloan network, you're always in the MIT Sloan network. And so, as I had mentioned, those career advisors that help you find your careers after you graduate, they're always available to help you continue throughout your journey. And then also the broader MIT network. So there are a good chance that there will be alumni in the area that you live that you can always connect with as well.
Thank you. Pranav Sriram asks, is there any preference between the test center GMAT versus the online GMAT?
Nope, so there's no preference. So we take either the in-person or online. And as I said, there's no preference between GRE and GMAT either. We do not accept the executive assessment for MBA, only the GRE or GMAT.
Thank you. Nazmul Hussain asks, hi, how does AdComs at MIT Sloan view applicants over age of 45 for full-time MBA programs?
So we don't have an age restriction on any of our programs. And so I would say in the traditional MBA program, the average age is probably late 20s, early 30s. But that said, like I said, we don't have an age restriction. So when reviewing applications, we're definitely looking to just see if you're an appropriate match for the program, if what your goals are match with the program, and if you'd be a good fit. Additionally, someone at that age might also be a better fit for our Sloan Fellows program, as I had mentioned, that has been in the workforce a little bit longer and has over the 10 years of work experience.
Thank you. Umanshu Mahawar is asking, is the difference between score scale of GMAT and GMAT focus considered while reviewing applications? Is a candidate with a GMAT focus score of 645 considered equivalent to a candidate with GMAT 700?
Yes, so when reviewing applications, our admissions team definitely take the differences into consideration. And so when reviewing it, if you have different scores, they review it in a very specific way that it wouldn't hurt you to have, let's say, a different score than the GMAT. So yes.
Siddhant Verma asks, hey Anna, for candidates without formal startup experience, what specific qualities or experiences does MIT Sloan look for to access entrepreneurial potential, especially for candidates who haven't yet started their own companies?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say when applying, we would be looking for three things. So first is your most authentic self. So we really want to know you for who you are. Next is team collaboration is a very important one. So when you are applying to the program, making sure that you're giving us examples to show us that you will be able to collaborate well with others. Just because in the MIT Sloan business school, you're going to be working with other individuals on a day-to-day basis. And if you are trying to pursue entrepreneurship, you're going to need to work with partners. You're going to need to work with faculty and advisors to get funding. So that team collaboration is definitely a very big piece. And then I would also say leadership is important to sort of portray within your application as well. If you want to go into entrepreneurship and make your own startup, then you need to definitely have some leadership skills and abilities to be able to do that as well.
Thank you. Anonymous attendee asks, MIT asks for coursework in linear algebra, calculus, and probabilities. While I do not have these courses explicitly called out on my transcript, I have taken these courses in which concepts were covered. How should I signal this to the AdCom? Do you have any optional essay?
I would say in the application, you can definitely will see what classes you have taken. If you haven't taken those specific classes with those titles, there are always opportunities for you to do that. We don't require prerequisite courses. So if you don't specifically have like linear algebra, we'll want to see that you have those skills. So you can always go online. We have our MIT X, which I can put in the chat website. And that's a great way that where you can take some online courses to sort of deepen your skill set even more.
Thank you. Claire Levita, you mentioned students being able to develop ventures after their first core semester. Can you walk us through some of the resources offered by for that purpose? Specifically, how do students use the resources from the Social Enterprise Initiative or iLab or take early stage ideas into funded, tested ventures during the program?
Yeah, so as I had mentioned, so that customization within after your course semester. If you're looking for guidance on how to get to where you want, I would say the program office is a great place to start, as well as the career development office. So both of those resources will definitely help understand your goals, what you want to achieve, and help you sort of form the curriculum around those.
Tishar Anand asks, I have question as it is given that for dual degrees, so MBA can be done from Harvard and MSEECS from MIT.
So the only dual degree options that we have with Harvard is the MBA and Masters of Public Policy at the Harvard Kennedy School. Those are the only two degrees that we have available with Harvard.
Thank you. Aniket Kumar asks, Hi, I wanted to know if there would be any advantages to giving GMAT over GRE for MBA admissions.
Nope. So like I had said, there's no preference over one over the other. And while I had said that our application requirements are not yet finalized, until we open the application in July, you can expect that not to change. So there's still no preference of GMAT over GRE or vice versa.
Thank you. Dhuru Barup Nandi asks, What are the scholarship opportunities? Does the scope of receiving one decreases with subsequent rounds of application?
So how scholarships work is, so we use the word fellowships, and so everyone applied, admitted to the program are considered for merit-based fellowships. And as I had mentioned, this depends on the funding that we have available to allocate for that year. So I will say that by round 3, funding is more limited than if you were admitted in round 1. That said, we definitely take into consideration that we will be admitting people in round 3, so there are still usually funds available to go around.
Thank you. Piyush Pandey asks, Hi, does MIT offer Flex MBA for 15 plus years professionals? Also, are we going to go over evening MBA and Flex MBA details as well? Is there a difference forum to connect and learn more about evening MBA or Flex MBA?
Yeah, so the MIT Sloan admissions team does not oversee the executive MBA program, and so the executive MBA program is part-time and flexible. I would say so for us, our team, we oversee all of the in-person full-time programs. So that includes our early career programs, Master of Finance, Master of Business Analytics, traditional MBA, which we talked about today, our LGO program, which is the dual degree with the engineering school, and then our Sloan Fellows, which is an executive level degree, but it's a 1-year MBA full-time in person. And so we do have the executive MBA program, which, like I said, is more flexible. I believe it occurs on weekends. Our office just unfortunately does not oversee that program. But you can always reach out to them if you go on our website and look up the Executive MBA. You'll be able to find it right there, and you can reach out to them with any other questions that you have.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Mhm.
It's time to wrap up. Thank you all for joining us today. Anna, do you have any last few words you want to say?
I just want to thank you so much for moderating today, and thank you everyone for attending. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck. Bye.